It's another beautiful day here on the farm. Now, if you watched last video where we put the goats in the barn, that hasn't really worked out. They have been getting out each and every day, and there they are again. Now this time, yeah. Yep. So I put boards up, just kind of makeshift and stuff, and they still get in and out. So it's kind of a lose-lose. They know to go right back in, for the most part. Get in there. I do want to switch them around a little bit anyway, and maybe put the smaller goats. Well, I think I want to leave them over here and just switch the females. But so that's one task that we have to accomplish. The other task that I want to accomplish is building them hay feeders. So obviously the ones that were in here, which were basically on the wall back there, I think I had two of them because this was originally split. So we had one back there. I didn't have any on the other side because that's where the rabbits were. So there was a lot of waste with that. So I would kind of prefer to do something different. And I think that's what we're gonna do, because ultimately there's no such thing as a no waste hay feeder with goats, because that's what they do. They waste hay, you know, they pick out the good stuff, what they want, and then that's that. And then you end up with a big pile on the ground. But if I can at least alleviate some of that, even a little bit, I'd be happy. So I think that's kind of what I'm gonna try and do somehow today. And I don't know. I gotta figure a design first and kind of see what's gonna work the best. If it's gonna be something inside there, or if it's gonna be something, you know, that's outside that they have to stick their head through. It almost seems like something they have to stick their head through is gonna be better and probably work a little bit better. That way, you know, they can't rip it out and they physically have to be in the box with their head. So I don't know. So I think I'm gonna start on the pen over here first, because I do have plywood on this, and I know the guys over here won't be able to get out first, because I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower this 2x4 that I put in here all the way down, sit it right on that bottom board, and then I think I'm gonna build just like a box type thing somehow like that, and then they can stick their heads through here and eat. I don't know. I think that's gonna work. So here you can kind of see how this would work already, since there already is hay laying here. And ultimately, we wouldn't even have to really build a box. We could just put the rack on the floor, or we could just push hay up to the front here. But I think I have kind of changed my thought process, because the only downfall with doing that is, yeah, we'd build a box there, but the goat kids are obviously so much smaller than the adults. I mean, right now, these little ones are going through that opening there, and that's about the same as over there. So they'll be able to fit through there, and then we'll end up with them being out all the time. So I think what I'm gonna do, I did have these skids on the walls, as you guys seen. What's up, Ginge? And I had them in the back corner there. I don't know what you're trying to do, you goof. So I had those in the back corners, and I think we're gonna do something similar to that. We're gonna close the ends, but then we're also gonna build like something in the front so it kind of catches a little bit of it. But we're not gonna do something that's too big so they can stand up there and then go to the bathroom on that, because obviously that's gonna ruin the hay doing that, and then you're kind of back to, you know, them wasting all what they do. So I have an idea. Goats have to be the most nosy, curious animals I have ever come into contact with. The overall shell is pretty much done, sort of, give or take. It's definitely a lot sturdier, and they didn't have it broken today. Now a lot of these, I'm using all scrap boards, so I'm basically doing this as cheap as possible without obviously having to go buy lumber. And you know, with this not being a permanent thing, it's just better doing it this way. So cheaper alternative, and it's quicker, then I don't have to run to the store. So, and we can also use up some of the stuff that has been sitting around and taking up space. So at this point I don't know if I have enough of them, but I have a bunch of boards there, some more there, one here, and I'm gonna kind of, you know, take this and angle down. I need another board in the bottom because I don't want them to be able to jump up in there, because then they're just gonna do exactly what she's doing now. Here's the finished product. This is actually going to hold a lot more hay than what we had before. This might hold like 3 bales, 4 bales. I don't know. I'm hoping that it just lasts a lot longer. Now, this is very similar to what we had with the skids propped against the wall. And ultimately, I probably could have just added a bottom and put sides on that, closed it up so they couldn't get in there and everything. But ultimately, I don't know. Then you had the thickness of the board, and then you had boards on the back, so it just seemed harder for them to get hay, and then when they did, they just threw it over the ground. So I don't know, I'm gonna try it. I know there's no such thing as, you know, obviously a complete no waste feeder, but we were really wasting a lot before, so I'm hoping this is obviously a little bit better. And I'm gonna clean all this stuff out of the way just to kind of get an idea of how much we are wasting or how much they are wasting on it. It's definitely gotta be better. Like I said, better than what it was before. So hopefully that works out. I'm gonna throw a couple bales in there and we'll see how much it holds. What? How did you fit through that? Well, like I said before, they are like a rat. They can literally squeeze their body to fit through anything. These slats are about 4 inches, and I thought maybe that would be, you know, plenty. But I think I'm gonna knock it down to 3. I'm gonna have to, because yeah, they can just easily get in there. And also I have to add a board up front here yet to catch any loose hay too. That way it stops it from falling. But they love it already. Well, I think they definitely really are enjoying that. They like their hay. And I started to move it 3.5 inches, but Macy here came up and she couldn't get her head through. So obviously they're not going to be this small forever, so I just really don't want them in there, you know, peeing and going to the bathroom on the hay. But I mean, that one that fit through there, I went back and rewatched, and he barely fit through there. So obviously they're really tiny, they're still growing, so I think I'm just going to let them alone at 4 inches Because otherwise, I mean, this is a pretty big gap back here. They ain't gonna fit. Now, the amount of hay that's in here now is, I brought over 2 bales and I just barely broke open the first one. So that's, I don't even know if you'd call that a quarter of the bale yet. So I think we'll easily fit 2, maybe 3 bales in here, and it should last a long time. They are definitely munching. And what I've noticed is they're eating a lot, like she is right now, eating out of the trough. So that's kind of a nice thing. It actually didn't quite hold 2 bales. I mean, you probably could have easily put 3-4 bales in there compacted, but we loosened them, so it probably fit about 1.5, 1 3/4 bales. So I'm curious to see how long that lasts. Now, there's obviously 7 goats in here, so, you know, 7 goats can eat quite a bit, but I'm still curious to see how, it should last a lot longer than, you know, it did, because it was just falling on the ground before. And here again, the bigger ones are pulling it out and the little ones are actually eating out of the trough. So I'm really hoping that this works 10 times better than what we had before. And in the long run, he should be able to conserve a lot of hay. What are you doing over here? I see you bent the rail down. Even if we, you know, save 10 bales of hay a year, that's definitely a huge plus. That's still 10 bales. So hopefully this works out. Right now on the other side, I just have an opening over there, like they can stick their heads through because the hay's right next to it, so they can eat for right now. But I do have plans to build one over on the other side. I just haven't gotten a chance to do it obviously yet. Quite honestly, I think this is gonna work 10 times better. And yeah, I'm definitely liking it. And they're definitely liking it too, clearly. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was definitely, they're having fun. I always enjoy building stuff. I always enjoy doing stuff like that. So definitely a fun one. And hopefully it works out a lot better than, you know, the past stuff we've had. It's been a trial and error type thing ever since we've gotten goats basically. So we'll see how this goes and hopefully it works. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and I'll see you next time.